Hello and welcome to an episode of Historically Marked, Route 66 edition. And I am just outside the McDonald's museum, where on the property is where the first McDonald's first opened. A lot of historical markers. We're going to be going inside the museum. I'm with my friend Vince again in San Bernardino, so I definitely can't wait to take a look at this and show you guys around. So here we go. So this is not the original building where McDonald's is, but there was like a building right there, and I know it's kind of hard to explain, but it was basically your typical 1940s, 1950s kind of quick service restaurant. And about the whole Route 66 thing, this is actually City 66 or Business 66, so it's not really the actual highway. But I mean, this is still considered a Route 66 icon no matter the way you look at it, because who doesn't want to stop at the first McDonald's? And this is the property of Juan Pollo. We'll be seeing some markers about him. Alright, so now we're going to start the back of the museum. And this here is the Scooby-Doo Mystery Machine. Okay. Not sure how this relates to McDonald's, but maybe at one point McDonald's had a giveaway. Those are some old oversized toys. The Daffy Duck. And then over here is the world's most detailed mural. Got some old McDonald's playground stuff, like Grimace. He's a little faded, but now these were a little before my time, because I think by the time I was growing up, McDonald's got rid of a lot of this stuff for, I imagine, for safety issues. So the Grimace was introduced in 1973. The evil Grimace was a somewhat scary looking character. By the late 1070s, well, it's 1970s, McDonald's softened his tone and look and renamed him the Grimace. Today he is simply known as the Grimace. The Hamburglar, now he was the real bad guy from what I remember. And then here's a simple one about Route 66. Established in 1926, the route passed right by this property. During its early years, automobiles were fairly primitive and unreliable. Cars similar to this Model T kiddie ride were used to travel the route. Imagine what it would be like driving through the hot desert during the summer with no air conditioning. No, I don't want to imagine. An old rocking horse. Just put 10 cents, this baby will ride. Not really, but at some point it did. Now about this mural, there's a lot of detailed stuff, and of course I'm not going to go over it, but a lot of interesting stuff, like Philip Michael Thomas, you know, the guy from Miami Vice. He graduated from San Bernardino High School in 1967, and like I said, he started in Miami Vice. Gene Hackman was born in San Bernardino in 1930. He's still alive today. He was in, of course, a lot of movies, including, yes, The French Connection, very good movie. My favorite role was when he played Reverend Scott in The Poseidon Adventure, and then he also went on to do movies for a long time, like he was in The Birdcage, Mississippi Burning, many others. And I mean, it goes on and on. I mean, I could go all day about this. But this is a riding toy, another one. This one looks a lot cleaner than the others. Okay, the history of San Bernardino. That's what it is. Okay, it was put up in 2012. It still looks good for what it is. And those are the two arches we are familiar with. Officer Big Mac. Now, I don't remember in my younger years, I don't remember if I was ever inside one of these things. I probably would have been afraid that I wouldn't have been able to get out. Or actually, I take that back. I forgot you gotta climb through a hole to do that, and they got it sealed off. Oh yes, hamburger jail. And this, of course, is the old sign. So many markers here. I'll try to get to as many as I can. The golden arches were removed from this sign in 1961 when Ray Kroc purchased the rights to McDonald's hamburgers from Dick and Megan McDonald for $2.7 million. The sign was saved from complete demolition in 1972 when a lone neighbor stopped the wrecking crew from tearing it down. But he could not be able to prevent the destruction of the Golden Arches building. And then there's two more. Yeah, the 1992 plaque dedication. I'm not gonna, that's where it was. And then Albert Okura, founder of Juan Pollo rotisserie chicken chain, discovered the property was in foreclosure. And they purchased it. And then our museum staged its grand opening on December 12th, 1998, exactly 50 years apart. Wow. Now my friend Vince, who's from this area, he told me that he owns, again, we passed by one Juan Pollo on the way over here. And from what I hear, he's a really nice guy. Vince actually got to meet him. And here's another historically marked sign. And over here, this was not originally put here by the Hampton Hotels, but close enough. Now, I think Juan Pollo put these on some of his properties, like the one I showed you in Roy's out in the middle of the desert in Amboy. But this is the first McDonald's. McDonald's hamburgers and fries represent a true slice of Americana. This site is ground zero for all modern day fast food chains. All right. And then this plaque down here. Dick and Mac McDonald opened the world's first McDonald's self-service drive-in restaurant on this site in San Bernardino, California in December 1948. They previously operated a successful drive-in barbecue restaurant with car hop service on the site from 1940 to 1948. If you ever watched that movie, The Founder, I mean, there's more details. If you ever, I mean, I highly recommend it. It stars Michael Keaton as Ray Kroc. But it talks about how Dick and Mac made a decision to create a more faster, more efficient atmosphere for families instead of just a teenage hangout. So they did away with silverware and pretty much just made a simple menu of hamburgers, fries, milkshakes, and of course colas. Musical railing. Oh yes, I remember those, like the musical notes. Wish they'd bring them back. And then here, this marker right here talks about the flooring. This was the original flooring of McDonald's. These turquoise terrazzo tiles installed below were salvaged from the original Golden Arches building, designed in 1953 by Dick McDonald. His layout was the standard for all stores for nearly 20 years. But the distinctive 1950s architecture was replaced with modern but boring looking rectangle brick buildings. These two pieces of polished stone are the last links to that building and era. And just right next to the museum is a military museum that is also owned by Juan Pollo. I'm not going to be stopping there today, but just thought it was worth pointing out in case you have extra time. It is open. Well, there'll be signs pointing out if it is or not open. So there is no cost admission in here. Cameras are welcome. Love that. Not so often I see something like that.
I went over to the teepees, and then after the teepees... That's
Vin.
Not yet, no.
This is the world's largest place that houses memorabilia from McDonald's. I'm just going to start over here. This, of course, is an old carousel, and no, don't touch it. Alright, so I gotta start somewhere, right? Tailspin. Oh, I remember that TV show. McDonald's, of course, sponsored the Los Angeles 1984 Olympics. I wonder if they will again when the Olympics comes back here in a couple of years. 1988 World Cup. There's gonna be plenty, no shortage of Happy Meal toys.
No, they're fake.
Scooby-Doo Halloween pail. I don't know if I ever had one of those. But yeah, I mean, it's definitely one of those places spend more hours in. And don't forget, McDonald's, of course, was international. Poland, Italy, pretty much all over the world except for North Korea. These Happy Meal boxes. I don't even know if those are worth anything, but it would be cool if they were. Endless. Mexico. New Zealand toys. Australia. Anybody who loves Australian culture, in your Happy Meal you have gotten a joke book. Here's some stuff from Canada. So Vince was telling me the makers behind the movie The Founder with Michael Keaton, I think the studio and the producers and whoever was behind the scenes, they had to borrow a lot of stuff from this museum, and here's some of the stuff that was used in the movie, like these McDonald's cups. And I've seen the movie at least 3 times because it's one of my favorites. I even watched it before I went on this trip. That's the DVD. Autographed by the cast. Oh yeah, Michael Keaton. And I think Laura Dern was in the movie too, played his second wife. The original grill scraper used in the movie. French fry bags, burger wraps. And for those who are wondering what Ray Kroc did in the first 50 years of his life, before he set up the McDonald's empire, he was a multi-mixer salesman. The shirt was worn in the movie, okay. And this, of course, newspaper article. Up here, wacky glasses. I remember those when the drink came through your eyes. Wish they still made those. It's no wonder kids would rather use electronics because nothing's fun anymore. Tiny Toon Adventures. Oh, I remember them. 1990.
When I saw the car show, I was going eastbound and was on the west, was on the north. I saw it. I'm already in Wow.
Now on this wall there's a lot of a pictorial timeline of like how McDonald's evolved.
On the way they were in a small jail, 2 ladies, and they were leaving and they were going to go to the wigwam. Their final destination is Santa Monica.
And of course there's more Happy Meal toys and more memorabilia.
But just be very patient. Just keep doing it on the side.
No plate.
Be very patient from here on out.
Former employees, CEOs are lined on this wall. Original car hops. This was signed by Dick McDonald, that picture, so it's worth $1,000 or so it says. And don't forget, at one time McDonald's actually sold pizza, and in all honesty it didn't really taste that good. I'd rather much have Pizza Hut. So how you liking this museum, man?
Oh no, it's great. There's I don't know if you saw the movie props yet.
Yeah, I did. Just right on that wall over there.
And then I just got done talking to an Italian family. We had a lot of foreigners come through here. I think one of the coolest things about coming to 366 locations is seeing the foreigners and people.
Oh yeah, yeah. Now this looks pretty good. I don't know what the white I don't want that. I don't want that much mayonnaise on there, but here's something interesting. Now, the 101 Dalmatians movie originally came out in the 1960s, but then it would be reissued in theaters over the years. And I was not aware of this, but they actually had literally, I think, 101 Dalmatians Happy Meal toys. Yeah, they're all encased in here. Good golly. Supersize it. That must be one of those old drive-through things. They're like, yeah, for 39 cents. I don't even know what the price. Oh, actually, wait. They don't do supersize anymore because of Morgan Spurlock, that one dude. And behind this glass is the 1970s McDonald's collection. Those of you who were around during the time probably remember this, The Great Muppet Caper. Now, that movie came out in '81 when I was born. The Filet-O-Fish. Now, I've read Ray Kroc's memoir, and he wasn't really convinced that that was going to be a big seller, but it was. One of his franchisees had to convince him that Filet-O-Fish was worthy of keeping on the menu, especially during Lent. The old boxes. Old ashtrays. Candy cigarettes. Wow. An old McDonald's clocks and toy trucks, and looks like a little video game too. Wow. And that's the Founder promotional. He took someone else's idea and America ate it up. That's right. These are the old styrofoam containers, and then I remember in the 80s and 90s when McDonald's was criticized heavily for using styrofoam. I don't see any McDLTs, but For some reason, I remember, you know, as a kid, eating straight from the styrofoam container. It seemed to have tasted better coming from it. Just my opinion. Until they went to cardboard or thin cardboard. And as most of us know who have eaten at McDonald's, they've long been affiliated with Coca-Cola. Kids high chairs, yep. I could go on and on, wow. This is so unbelievable. Mystery of the Lost Arch is obviously a take on whatchamacallit, the Indiana Jones. Back to the Future 3. I remember that. Wow. Man, for somebody to save all this. Now, I had that orange thing for many years, and I'm guessing it's probably got thrown away. So unbelievable. Wow. The Little Mermaid. Bedtime Happy Meal. Old cassette tapes. Yep. And the Mac the Knife parody, Mac Tonight. I remember that one, the Singing Moon. That was kind of creepy at first, but I don't know. So people have donated toys from all over. I mean, especially from this area, like Riverside, Fontana, California, not far from here. Tennessee, Dubuque, Iowa. Another one from Dubuque, Iowa. Portland, Oregon. Very nice. I mean, you guys see this for yourself. I mean, this is just plain awesome.
I was in Rome and I brought that box back, but it was collapsed. I had it flat. So there's my daughter Stefania.
Okay.
On the left.
Oh, cool.
Me, I'm in the middle, and then my daughter Olivia. So we donated it in 2018. I think that's right when I came back from my Route 66 trip, but it was collapsed and they just formed it. And then I donated another one from Israel, but I don't know where the Israel one is.
I'd say it's kind of hard to find because these countries are not alphabetical. But, you know, that's okay. I mean, it would take days to organize this. I mean, and wow.
Yeah, it's cool to see how many people from different countries have an affinity for McDonald's, and they come and they bring this stuff.
And another thing I remember from those old commercials in the 80s is that, okay, that 70s song, Life is a Rock by the Radio Rolled Me, well, that was put into parody style. And like in, I think it was 1988 or 87, everybody who came through McDonald's got that record. It was even in the Sunday newspaper, but anybody who got that record, they played it, and then if they didn't finish the song, the menu song, you weren't a winner. And I don't know how many of those were actually issued, but there was one winner who won the $1 million. And I saw a very sad story about where are they now, and unfortunately things did not turn out any better for them. But I guess when you get instant money like that, things kind of tend downhill. The Powerpuff Girls. And if you collect pennies from other places, definitely get your penny pinched here. Here's some more on the right side of the building. I'm just going to kind of stroll through here just very quickly. All these cars and the flags. All right, thanks so much for tuning into this episode of Historically Marked. This was definitely a fun episode to do. And it's weird because I was at the original Dairy Queen, well, not inside it, but so now I'm at the very first McDonald's. So how cool is that? All right, I'll see you at the next Route 66 stop. I am Jason in San Bernardino, California, signing off.